Hey guys, what's going on? It's Verbal, and this is FNG episode 13, and we have a really pretty cool guest on today. It is WoodysGamerTag. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Not much, man. How cool is it to be called cool now, right? Like, that didn't happen at 14 years old.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, hold on, wait. We were meant to start this off with me asking you a question, and you flipped it back on me. I'm freaked out right now.
Bring it.
I'm impressed. So we on PK, you grabbed Ricky Chops, and you asked him a really weird question. I have a question for you. Let's just suppose that you're on a plane. You're on a plane with Bash, Dunkus, Bendro, Onslaught, and T. Martin. There's the six of you. And it's only the six of you. You crash into the Andes, and the pilots die on impact. And it sucks. And after a week of huddling and waiting for, capture and or not capture but rescue, you're starving. And you're looking around at your buddies, and they're looking mighty tasty. Which one would you eat first?
All right, let me think this through here. We've got Bash, Dunkus, T-Mart, Onslaught, and did Bendro?
And Bendro. And the reason I choose those five is because that's the six of you that took us out on Friday and had a little bit of fun with us.
I'm thinking here, there's kind of a problem with these guys, and I'll tell you what it is. They all have really low body fat, right? Like, if we had a nice Wings of Redemption on the plane, then the choice would be clear, right? We could all dine for the rest of the week on a man like that. And not only is he a big guy, but he's tall. He's 6'4". I'm thinking it through. Now I'm going to follow on that same line of thinking and say we're eating T-Mart. We're going to have T-Mart steak for the rest of the week. And it's nothing against T-Mart. It's just that he's 6'4", and there's got to be a lot of human. Guy. Yeah. So we could sacrifice one guy and get some maximum time on that. And then of course Onslaught's my son, and that would be just weird.
Yeah, you can't eat your son. Plus, he looked really skinny in the video where he's looking at himself in the mirror, which was a little weird too.
He's like fucking showing his biceps and everything. He's pretty big.
Yeah, but he looks tiny. He looks like 5'3" or something ridiculous.
No, he's 6 foot even.
No way.
And he plays basketball a lot. He's in pretty good shape. And yeah, I saw that setup video. Like, he had like this 1980s weightlifter sleeveless shirt on. It looked like it had been like purposely torn to be more revealing and retied above his shoulders. Did you see that?
Yeah, he was holding that phone like if it weighed 60 pounds. Like he was flexing. I saw that.
Yeah, absolutely. He had like, oh man, I'm gonna start like wars here, but like every Tabe picture looks carefully crafted. Like he's just done 600 push-ups beforehand. He's laying on the laps of 4 women at one time. Like that. Onslaught had a similar like staged photograph moment going on there. He's like, yeah, this is just me hanging out in my revealing sleeveless shirts, doing a setup video. And maybe flex while he brushes his hair.
To be fair, it's kind of like father like son in that case, because when you did your video, not that you were flexing in front of a mirror, but there was no end of incredible craftsmanship and showing off what you could do and what you were able to put together. So maybe he learned a little bit of the trick of the trade there. What do you think?
I don't know. I had a hoodie on. And
yours wasn't showing off your body necessarily, but more your skill and your ability to craft and showing off a little bit of skill there too. I don't know. There might be something there.
Okay. All right. Point taken.
So we have a bunch of different questions we want to go through with you because you're WoodysGamerTag, if you hadn't noticed, and you do this YouTube thing.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
Well, I don't know if cool's the adjective you're looking for.
Well, I went with cool because you said cool earlier. And
oh yeah, and I was digging it.
One of the questions one of our subs had for us was, it's probably a pretty big thing because you have a family, you're a father of 2, you work full time and have a fairly successful career from what you've shared with us. But then you also play computer games all the time. Like you're on your Xbox all the time, and then you also have this YouTube thing. How do you handle the sort of work-life play balance there?
I neglect my yard. That's the key. That's the key time saver right there. I think I'm still yet to take the fall leaves out. I'm just gonna mow them come spring.
That's the exact way my yard looks right now. At all.
That's awesome. Your mic is quiet, by the way. I don't know if you can address it. Yeah. But more seriously, I work a lot. Pretty much whenever I'm awake, I'm like consciously doing something productive, right? And that something productive can be not traditional productive stuff like playing guitar with my daughter. Today I spent time out. We have a swing set in our backyard, hanging out with my son. But it's all like this calculated time management thing. Like, all right, my son needs this much time. We got to get that done. My daughter needs this much time. I have to get footage. I have to get the YouTube thing done. I have the YouTube channel, and then Huppet takes time as well. And there's not a lot of downtime. but I just kind of built that way. I think I'm going to go on about myself. This might be boring, but what happened was I went to night school, so I had a full-time job, and then I had this really long commute, and then I had school at night, and I just did that lifestyle for about a decade or so. And when it was done, it just felt empty. It was like, wow, normal people live like this. They finish work and there's just nothing left to do. They just chill or do nothing. So yeah, I just sort of get productive. And sometimes that's time in the shop. Sometimes it's YouTube. Sometimes it's whatever. But long-winded answer.
I got a quick question. Now that I say I have a quick question, I totally fucking brain fart. If I was drinking, this would not have happened. So I blame it on my sober attitude.
I got a few questions because sorry, I put up a video yesterday saying to my subs, if you got questions for Woody, just put it in the comments below, and I got a few really really good ones. And here's one. Chuck, Ask a Capper. He comments, if you could remap one game, if you could remap the buttons on one game, which one would it be?
Oh man, so I know that he would probably have me pick Call of Duty, but the one I would actually pick is Halo. And it's the trouble with so Call of Duty, Crysis, Borderlands, and probably a handful of other shooters I can't think of kind of have this standard button layout, and you can play them all on the same day if you wanted to and be comfortable switching back and forth. Now Crysis isn't exactly the same. It has those armor abilities, but by and large they do what they can to adhere to the standard. Then you go to Halo, and all of a sudden the button for reload in Call of Duty is like throw a grenade at your teammate in Halo or something stupid like that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
and
totally.
So that would probably be the one I'd pick. It's the one that doesn't fit with the rest of the format. And I'll ask a Capper, by the way. I watch his videos, and I noticed he started aiming down sight. It looked like he used his so people don't know.
Go ahead.
So I watched a Ask a Capper video a while back, and he only hip fired. And the challenge is he doesn't have full function of his hands, so he can't work both triggers at once, which is part of the motivation behind the remapping petition. But I've been watching lately, and it looks like he uses his upper lip to work the aim down sights, and then his finger, of course, to work the shooting. I'm
going to correct you on that. Black Ops came out with a Nomad layout, which lets you you just tap the aim and it sticks until you tap it again.
Is that what it is?
That's interesting.
Yep, it's a Nomad layout. He was talking about it. He said his KD went up like a 0.2 just because of that. Because now he can aim down sight without actually having to hold the button down.
Right, yeah. Because I imagine playing without aim down sight is a little bit like playing with a shotgun, where you're virtually unarmed past 15 feet or so.
Yeah.
And you just have to navigate the map and take advantage of that.
All right. You want another question?
Sure.
How about, here we go.
You guys are prepared. Rapid fire.
We figured it was a good way to get our subs involved because okay, so we're the fucking you guys, we're the FNGs, and we're nobody in the YouTube community, but if we get the chance to have people like you on and get to know you guys, and we've met we've met Jeff Sassman, for anyone not paying attention, he was Woody's business partner, and him and Juicer came on, and they've been fantastic guests. TryHard Ninja, I won't list them all, but the point is we get to know you guys, and if we can be a little bit prepared and engage our audience and say, hey guys, well, if you had the chance to ask Woody, what would you ask them? And this is our chance to do that. So,
you said you were YouTube nobodies, but I swear there's a huge parallel between where this group is right now and where Bendro, Dunkus, T-Mart, Onslaught, and those guys were 6 months ago.
Wow, thanks, man.
Kind of a bunch of guys doing good stuff, working together. They built their own network, and what happens in these YouTube networks, right? Is Verbal gets a sub, and then all of a sudden Larry, Tino's, and TryHard get a sub too, because you guys travel in the same circle, and it makes channels grow faster when we got 4 lines out there trolling in the fishing sense,
Yeah.
So that if you fast forward, right, come next game release, you guys will probably have 85,000 subs, something like that, and you'll be a presence just like they are.
I like the way you think, buddy. I like the way you think.
Yeah.
I have to admit, though, even though this YouTube thing is great fun, I have to admit I'm still and I don't think I've ever publicly said this, so this is my chance to do it. But TryHard deserves both Larry and I's huge thanks for this, because the reason we're even sitting here talking to you right now, Woody, is that TryHard came to us one day. I was like, this YouTube thing is fantastic, and I love what we're doing with this, but it's not like I'm going to get a dual com with Woody's Gamertag. That's not going to happen, and we know that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But how do we grow, and how do we enjoy ourselves, and could we have have a little bit of fun doing a podcast. And we both kind of looked at each other going, heck yeah, that'd be hella fun. Let's do that. And I had bumped into Onslaught or Mike once in a lobby, and he just really graciously was like, sure, I'll be your first guest. And it like literally has snowballed since then. And TryHard, you are the man, buddy. I appreciate it.
Well, in my defense, what happened was I went on to Podbean, and I was looking at PKA's views, and they had more views than all of your subs combined, like Woody, Wings, and Kyle. Like they had more like at that time I think it was getting like 300,000 views, and that was more than all of you three combined. So I was saying to myself, they must be getting viewers from outside of the YouTube community, from like I don't know, people who were just surfing on Podbean. So I was telling myself those are like that's a great way of finding new subs, new fans, and I mean I don't know.
It's funny how that happens, right? Like Host Migration, who was the, I guess, original Call of Duty podcast group, they also had a bigger podcast than any of their YouTube channels. And we're talking about Hutch and CNanners here, right? So it took off. I was surprised when I heard them say that on their podcast. Like, really? Bigger than YouTube channel? I always figured it was a subset of your subs that watch the podcast, but that's not true. I'm going to get nerdy here. I guess it's an extended subset, right? You give some and you lose some.
Yeah, and still... go ahead, Larry.
No, I just think I mean that makes it makes a lot of sense, and just exactly what Woody was saying there, how you kind of get subs from everyone and it kind of just branches out a little bit. I think that's the best part about this. I mean, I can honestly take away my YouTube channel, and just doing this podcast would fulfill it for me, because this is the funnest part for me.
Aww.
Wow. We're not giving each other shit and calling each other gay or ice igloo builders.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right now.
Is this the influence I bring to the podcast? Do we
it's
get
their maturity.
A little warmer and far gayer?
Well, until my next question.
All right.
So Woody, everyone knows you're like the class act. You're that good guy. But there must have been some time at some point in your life where you did something that was awful or you regret. And I was just wondering what that was when you look back on it. You're like, man, that was not a Woody's Gamertag kind of moment right there.
Oh, goodness. Man, I mean, there must be dozens of them, but I'm drawing a blank.
That's an excellent question, by the way, Larry. How bad a story do you want to reveal about yourself right now?
I will reveal so many. In terms of revealing, I remember this one time. I'll try to get to the question. I'm searching for something, but in my house, there was this rule, and I mentioned this on the Painkiller Already podcast, and it became the benchmark for how much of my personal life I'll share. And the deal is this: if my wife catches me masturbating, right? She used to do this thing, right, where if she ever busted me, it was this fun thing for her, cold busted or whatever. And now it's all right, baby, new rule in the house. If you catch me, you finish me. That's the deal.
I remember that.
You remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
So that is the new benchmark on just, how little privacy I hold from the subs and such.
See, to this day, I still agree with Kyle's reaction at that point in time, being like, fuck that, I'd walk around with it out all the time, just jerking out, hoping she would catch me. Let's go.
Yeah, seriously. All right. Let's move on to this other question that I got on my video. It's the highest rated comment, and I'm not sure you want to answer it, but it's totally up to you. He says, this is asked by a guy named X Zongo. He asks, ask Woody what his first sexual encounter was like.
Oh, awesome. I get asked that a lot. And it's funny. It's my first sexual encounter. I'm sure they mean my, the entire sex experience. Not just first time messing around with a girl that wasn't genuine sex. And I don't talk about it out of respect. My wife wasn't my first, and these aren't stories. That's over. So, wow. First, this might be a first ever something I didn't share. I just let that go.
I'm impressed. Nice. I'm impressed we got him to not answer. That was pretty cool.
That's all right.
No, that was good.
Let's see.
I got one. I got another one. This one's
all right.
Way less personal there. So, Woody, you're in one of those older gamers. So, 10 years ago, I mean, you said you were going to night school and, you're doing all this stuff. And, I mean, I'm sure you played maybe video games, but not the way that you do now. So, what do you think about, I guess, how video games are being played? And I guess for all those 20-year-olds or 27-year-olds like myself that are calling you old, what do you think it'll be like at 20 years from now? Do you think it's still going to be the way that it's going? I'm not talking about the future of technology, but just the the gaming community and stuff?
I don't know. So the big change, obviously, is the social part of it, right? Like I played gaming before it was really a social experience. It was just straight up you against the game, and the games were a lot harder. Now there's this expectation that you're going to finish, Black Ops, the single player campaign, right? Everybody does. Even on Veteran, if you play long enough, you'll probably finish the thing. That wasn't necessarily true back in the old days. In the old days, there were games that were just virtually unbeatable. Lots of people didn't beat Super Mario Brothers, which isn't really a good example. What was that, Ninja Gaiden, right?
That's where the term Nintendo hard comes from, right? Because they design games you basically just could not beat.
What was the one with the two guys that shot? Is it Commando?
No. It was
Contra.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I'm thinking of, right? So there were some really hard games. Now games aren't as hard unless you go to multiplayer, at which point it is as hard as like real life sports. As good as the guys around you. And where it heads from there, I don't know. World of Warcraft did an interesting thing in that in their forums they started exposing your real life identity in an effort to get people to behave better. Do you think that'll catch on? Could that be a more widespread thing?
Wait, say that again. What's going to be a more widespread thing?
So in World of Warcraft, everyone hid behind their online handles for ages, and I'm thinking here. So in World of Warcraft, everyone hid behind their online handles, but on their forums, they started saying that they started associating your real life name with your online handle.
Yeah.
So. And the motivation behind that was to get people to behave better. Right? There are some people in World of Warcraft whose sole reason for living is to make other people unhappy. Right?
Yeah.
They spend all their days and nights thinking about how they can grief other people, and now they're exposed.
That sounds a lot like YouTube.
Yeah. Well, okay, so hold on. Let me tell Woody the story that I've told you guys from this week that happened to me. So I put out, and Woody, I know you saw this in an etiquette video where basically I said, this is how to handle yourself. And, yes, I understand that a lot of you are 12 to 16 years old, but...
I did see that.
Yeah, the anonymity of YouTube does not mean that we can treat each other like shit. And etiquette means, a basis of how we treat each other. And, we are responsible for that. So this 1 week, I did a dual com with my girlfriend, I don't know, about a month ago. And obviously this kid's a new sub to me. And he goes in and he watches a video. And then he put something really, really nasty in the comment. I forget exactly what it was, but like, you should dump that dumb slut. Something like that.
That's exactly what he said.
Oh, well, good. So,
dude, get on my level, man. Like, Let me allow me to interrupt your story for a minute. I had a guy comment, and he left it on a bunch of my different videos, and like started new accounts and said it again. He kept saying that he was going to anally rape my wife while digitally raping both my children at the same time. Like that was just his thing. That was like his little fantasy. He kept saying it again and again and again.
He's a multitasker.
He is a multitasker. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
awful.
Anyway, yes. So he wanted you to break up with your girlfriend. How did you get over that?
No, yeah, how I got over it. I cried myself to sleep at night.
Makes your story seem very terrible, doesn't it?
Yeah. All right. I'm warming up for the 1-up party.
I'm gonna cry. Oh God, I'm screwed. No, I put a comment underneath it, and just responded to him like, hey, you got two choices here. You're either gonna get blocked, and that means you have to just create a new YouTube account, which is no big deal, or you can apologize to me and my girlfriend in a private YouTube message and do the right thing, and said, if you haven't seen my etiquette video, you should go see it, and a little bit more. I forget exactly what. I showed the guys, and Larry gave him a good bitch slap.
Well,
which was kind of funny.
I must say that you got that email after I put my comment calling him Oliver and telling him because his mother was out banging everyone didn't mean that everyone was a dumb slut.
That was a pretty good thing. But he did comment, and he said, private message incoming, and then he shot me a message, and he was like, I'm really, really sorry. I don't normally troll. I don't know what I was thinking about. I apologize to both you and Kate, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, going back to, and the reason I bring up the story is going back to what you were saying, like, it will World of Warcraft start, and that change where let's link our online identities to our real life identities so that we actually start treating people the way that we'd be proud to treat people in front of our mother, then this kid actually ended up having a little bit of a positive response. Now he did actually end up sending the exact same email to Larry. So.
Dude, no, he's not telling the story right. The guy wasn't even subbed to you, Verbal, and like he copied and pasted the same message to Larry.
Yep.
apologizing for the exact same thing. And I was just like, block it and move on, dude. Like, this guy's just like a random troll. He's like, no, I'm going to teach him a lesson. And I'm like, seriously, dude? Like, if you start doing that, I mean, once your channel gets big, forget it. Like, you'll be doing that for days.
I'm not expecting someone like Woody size, or if we end up ever getting that size, that you have the time to do that or would care to. But I think the more positive reinforcement you can give to someone to say, hey, listen, get away from the World of Warcraft and get out from underneath your shell and realize that you're Chris Smith, you're John Johnson, you're a real person in the real world, and act it on YouTube, then our community will be better for that.
You know what started making me feel better about my trolls? CNanners has trolls. Now, CNanners is a guy who I think of is just completely clean. I don't think he's ever given anyone a reason to dislike him on his channel, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Not everyone's going to be everyone's cup of tea, but he's never done anything to offend or hurt anybody. And the fact that people are trolling his channel, it's like, all right, that means they're going to troll every channel.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They're trolling.
I got found in real life. Like someone.
Wait, really?
Yeah, so first he started calling my house.
Whoa.
And my wife would answer, and she was kind of awkward about the whole thing. And she's, I picked up one time, and I was like, hey, what's going on here? And he's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, you keep calling. Why do you keep calling? And he's like, I have a twin brother. And that's, I was like, well, why is this happening? And then I think it's the same guy. He wrote me a letter. Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
Oh, yes, go ahead. It's going to be great.
Okay. It starts off, my name is, and then he gives me his name. And so I'm going to skip that.
Okay.
And then it says, I live in Indiana, and I'm a senior in high school. I love what you were doing with your YouTube channel, and I always follow it. I started the YouTube channel last year during the holidays. I have roughly 1,000 subs. I know I have a ton to learn and was really wondering and hope you might consider mentoring me. I know there really isn't anything in it for you, but I would sure keep... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading. But it would sure keep the pay-it-forward mentality alive and well. I chose to send a letter instead of a YouTube message because I'm guessing you get thousands a day and can't read them all. Please contact me back. My email is, and then he gives it, and his phone number, and etc. And then it says, most importantly, my YouTube channel is, and with followed by the URL. So yeah, this guy hand wrote a letter to me asking me to mentor him on his YouTube channel.
Wow.
I still haven't figured out what to do. Like, I really don't have time to pick up interns or mentors. Or
You're going to turn into Yoda. You're going to be like young Jedi.
Wow, that's insane.
On the other hand, it was really well written, and it was from a high school kid, and it's hard to ignore, but I don't want any more jobs. I mean, so.
Wow, that's craziness.
That links me to my other question, because this is perfect. You say you don't have any more time, but this guy, his name is Mr TZZ09. He asks, you should ask him how he manages family, work, YouTube, and gaming all together.
Yeah, so it is kind of a challenge. The gaming and YouTube stuff usually happens when everyone else is sleeping, right? So my typical routine is I'll put my daughter to bed, which is getting later all the time. The darn thing's getting older.
It's not going to get any better.
I know, it's not. Does the tuck-in stuff? Like, my parents didn't tuck me in when I was 11, but she really values that time, and sometimes we cover important topics, sometimes we don't. But yeah, so I put her down, and then I'll hit Skype and catch up with all my friends. Sometimes during the day, we're even talking about who's going to be on that night, and then we game while they're sleeping. Sometimes I'll commentate a video right before I go to bed and let it render while I sleep, and then wake up and take kids to school and do my thing. So yeah, a lot of guys are like, sometimes I get more trolls in my videos saying, "What do you stop playing games and play with your kids?" The kids are sleeping, man. I'm allowed to be me after they go to bed. So that's how that works.
That's funny. Like, I remember maybe I just noticed it or just going through the comments on some of your videos and just looking at the wide range of either positive or negative comments. Like, you'll have one kid that the name's Jason Bourne 1999, and then the very next kid, and he's like, oh, what of your vids are awesome. And then the very next guy's, Jason Bourne 2000, and guessing that they're their ages, that they put those dates in there or whatever. And the next one's like, oh, I want you to be my dad. And the very next kid seems like a 12-year-old, and he's like, oh, I totally have sex with you. It's like, wait, how did we get to that point from like awesome videos? Oh, you could totally be my dad, and then some, random 12-year-old troll with his creepy comments.
I also have a hard time predicting which gameplays they'll like. Like, I uploaded that one of us playing against each other, right?
Yep.
And it was really well received. People are like, you straight up beasted. I have a 2 KD. I have gotten my nose ripped off for going 23 KDs, and and then I post a 2, and they're like, wow, you did really well. I actually was nervous about the reaction that game would get, because I thought they'd say, this video demonstrates how bad Woody really is, and that it kind of went the other way. So
okay, great transition, because we wanted to talk to you about the scrim game that we had and what we did. And I'm actually the other way around. I think there's so many YouTube commentators now, all with 95% of us have less than 500 subs, but we're all putting out that decent gameplay. Like, it's not above average to be able to pull out a 40-5 or 40-2 or something. So I think when you put out a gameplay that has live callouts instead, which, let's be honest, like it's really good fun to hear what you guys are saying as you're thinking and as you're playing. But then most importantly, where it's not a, it's more like a 5 and 23 gameplay from someone who really tried their best.
No.
Really
It was a 5
hard.
and 25. I clearly remember that.
the best part is Bash.
Shut up, TryHard.
So we have this running joke where Bash calls everything racist, and
yes.
people
call
will
me
be like,
racist?
if someone on the other team shoots him, that guy's racist. If someone uses like a shotgun, it's like, dude, the Olympia is so racist, and like it goes on like, this ladder won't let me up. The thing is racist, and it goes on all the time.
Yeah, Bash set it up on a Verbal, because Verbal shot him once. It was like one of his 5 kills, and Bash is like,
One of his 5 kills, well played.
Bash is like, oh my god, Verbal's such a racist. So I let him know in the Skype chat. I'm like, you know what, Verbal, Bash called you racist, and Verbal's like going bonkers. He's like, what? Oh my god, this is gonna ruin my YouTube career.
I worry about it too, because it's a sensitive topic, but it's not like among friends. We're not really that sensitive about it, and I don't know. Just like that, insensitivity is a source of good fun when we play together. But you expose it to the world, and it can easily be misinterpreted.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think you could totally tell in that video, though. Like, after, when he's playing, he's like, oh, Verbal just killed me. What a racist. I started dying laughing. Then he called like Juggernauts. He's like, oh, Juggernauts, what a fag. He knifed me.
Yeah. T-Mark calls me an asshole. But I mean, like, to be fair, I did not record our voice audio, and it's probably for the best too.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, because you guys, I mean, you're all pretty mild, I wouldn't say mild-mannered, but you guys don't, I don't know. I guess you don't swear as much as me, and I think if we had live commentary, it would have, it just would have been F-bomb left and right, and you just wouldn't have known exactly who I was.
I don't F-bomb left and right, but I swear on my channel. So here's the deal. When I do a real commentary, right, like a typical process for me is I watch the entire video through, make sure I know what's going to happen, and then I can commentate it well. And then I come up with my talking points, right? Sometimes I even put timestamps. And this is for gameplay commentary. If it's not gameplay commentary, I just have bullet points, almost like a PowerPoint presentation where, it's going to direct the flow of the conversation. And when you do that, you don't curse. People, had this, oh, Woody, you're so chill about things going wrong. I wish I was like that. And I was like, well, you are 3 days later, just like me. It's really no trouble at all. But then the live comms come along, and we did a Game Battles live com. I don't know if anyone here got a chance to catch it, but T-Mart and I did this dubs, and it's in demo, and I'm defusing the bomb, and I was so sure it was going to go okay. And you know how you're like just 3 or 4 pixels away from defusing the bomb, and I died, and I let out the F-bomb of a lifetime, and everyone talked about it, and it's like, that happens to everybody. That happens to me. You do your commentaries, you straighten your tie a little bit, and but the call out videos are more like what our conversations are like in the game.
Interesting. So we had questions for you about the scrim game that we played, because for us it's like, we tend not to be able to play the same team more than once, twice. Like 3 times is just unheard of. So for anyone that doesn't know, both T-Mart and Woody now have posted videos from a game where the FNGs took on T-Mart and Woody and team, and we had a really, really good time. Like that was one of the best nights gaming I've had in a long, long time. And we wondered is that kind of normal for you guys, or did you guys enjoy that? And most importantly, can we please rematch? Because I want a chance to clear my good name.
Verbal.
Can we do captains and pick teams?
Hey, baby, are you sure you want more of this? Because there's more where that came from.
See, the funny thing is, for anyone in the stream or anyone, we played like 7 games, and there is one game that I went 5-23. I'm putting up my own perspective.
25.
Whatever, try hard, whatever. And I tell you, I am bringing it next time. I cannot wait for the next time.
Oh.
You should have just said you were AFK the whole match, Verbal. That would have gone along so much better than actually running around and dying 23 times and doing nothing
I was
for the
answering
team.
YouTube PMs.
Dude, I have uploaded 2 videos where, like for me, they were like YouTube quality videos, right? Like a 32-3 type of thing. And then at the very bottom of the leaderboard is T-Mart going 2 kills and 3 deaths. And everyone's like, what happened to him? Where was he? In the comments, every time. I just go through and reply to him and be like, he was playing one-handed, if you know what I mean. And just answer it like that again and again and again throughout the comment section.
That's awesome.
I would have gone with that, Verbal. Be like, dude, I was playing one-handed, you know?
In our FNG defense, though, 2 or 3 of our guys were under level 13, which means we had no FAMAS and AK-74U.
Yeah, but dude, Benjo had the MP5.
No, Benjo doesn't count because Benjo's a fucking beast.
Yeah, I know, man.
That was ridiculous.
I forget. I left it in a comment. Somebody said something about, Benjo. Benjo was actually really frustrated with his performance in that game. And at the end of the night, he was just like, wow, this was really harsh for me. I know I could have done so much better if I had my favorite guns. And on the other hand, if I had his night, I'd have been pretty psyched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine how Verbal would have felt at the end of the night.
Wow. Let's bring it, guys.
Oh, my God.
You wait for my video about this. I got a video coming. You guys are going to see.
Oh, man. If you guys are going to bring your A-team, here's the thing. Sometimes I think together, I could put together a really, really strong team. But to make it really, really strong, I should really step off of it. When I think of my top 6 friends, like the best players I know, I'm not one of them. I'm like,
Oh, speaking of that, do you remember Onslaught's video where he made he said he was going to give, he just made this video about his YouTube All-Star team. And he spent 5 minutes explaining why he would be on the team himself. He'd be like, I know I'm not the best, but this is my team, so I'm going to be on it. And then he starts naming names.
Yeah, that's pretty much my Game Battles team. It's like, how'd Woody get on this team? Well, I founded it. That's
It's my dad.
Everybody else tried out but me.
I think next time you're going to have to substitute me, and you can play Tino's. If anyone doesn't know Tino's, he's our silent FNG partner. He's the guy that helps stream everything, so he's the guy that behind the scenes making sure everything goes good. And Tino's is a beast at the game. So Verbal can step back. I'll watch and referee or something, and Tino's can take my place.
If you're going to play that game, I'm stepping off, and we're going to bring in Socrates or Sandy Ravage or something.
Oh, nice. I played Socrates once. It wasn't funny at all. It was.
He is amazingly good at this game. Yeah. Now, what was it? Oh, so some people say connection, right? They see a guy who has perfect aim, and the effect looks a little bit like perfect connection. But I'll tell you, I've played with Socrates a lot. His connection is awful. He goes 2 to 3 bars all the time. We constantly have to back out of lobbies because he wasn't able to join them. And then when he finally gets in a game, he's God. I don't know how he does that. Socrates is very, very good. And then in the competitive scene, he's had a lot of success too. He was on a doubles team that went undefeated one season, and in 6 seasons they finished in the top 5 or something crazy like that. No, in 10 seasons they finished the top 5, 6 of them or something. It was just, he is very, very good at the game, and he's not just pub, it's competitive, it's anything. He's just
Isn't there a guy from Team Fear who plays from the UK and he plays on US host and he's still good enough to be on a Team Fear team?
Really? I'm not sure.
Yeah, his name's Choppy. And I'm not even kidding. Yeah, Tino's brought that to my attention. He plays on a constant 2-bar. And
Holiday
he plays
Doc.
on Team Fear.
Holiday Doc is one of those guys on the periphery of those elite gamers. And he's another guy who plays on 2 bars he's his entire game. He's in Canada, and his entire Game Battles career is on a pretty rough connection. Because I'm pretty sure Canada's a third world country, right?
Oh my! All right. Speaking of third world countries, but I got this other question for you, but this is my question, and it comes from listening to a lot of Painkiller already. I think this is from Painkiller already. It might be from one of your videos, but anyhow, you were talking about animal bestiality or whatever it was, and I hope you remember this. You were talking, yeah, dude. I'm not even kidding. He was explaining to everybody how if you rape a rooster or a chicken, like there's nothing that the chicken can do because you're
it's
basically
wrong. There's a moral issue with having sex with like roosters and cats.
yeah.
As opposed to having sex with a cow.
No, wait.
What
Because
are
he
you
was
talking
saying
about?
if you're having, and I think he gives me the example of a panda, right?
Yeah, a panda, but there's other things. Rhinoceros, crocodile, right? If you're having sex with one of those, it's consensual.
And he finishes it with,
I just
so
don't even
go
know what to
for
say
it.
right now.
Yeah. So right. That was the whole thing, right? Like if you have sex with a cat, then that's not really right. The cat has no say in this thing.
Yeah,
but if you have
God
sex with a
forbid.
rhinoceros, the rhinoceros is clearly okay with it. So you have my blessing.
Oh my god! Like I want to know where you got that whole, because I mean nobody would have thought that up but you. But
Oh, I know exactly where I got that from. That was your whole take on vegetarianism. You just took it to the next level and be like, well, if I can't eat this thing, maybe I can have sex with it.
Yes, revenge-based vegetarianism. That was my other topic, but we can cover that later. But
Is that where it came from, Woody, or what? Because I mean, like, I'm freaked out right now. I'm not gonna lie.
So I don't know if it's just me. For him, his audio is clipping, but yeah, I don't know where. Maybe it did come from there. It kind of came up on the spot in that podcast.
Wow.
I don't know how your mind works, buddy. But
I'm just glad I'm not a rhino or an alligator, I guess.
They're
That's
asking-
clear.
They're asking about giraffe sex in the stream. I don't know. It's really a close call. Like I'm going to say that the giraffe would have to be in on the whole thing. I mean, if nothing else, they just walk away from the stepladder, right?
Yeah, that's true.
no, but you could like hop on his back and kind of shimmy down, or I don't know.
You go ahead and work that out, Seb. You work out that. riddle.
Yeah.
I'll draw you a picture and send it to you.
Oh, draw me a picture. Come on, step it up, man. Put it on YouTube.
All right, I will.
I want to see you catch him walking by the balcony and then just dive onto his back and get it on.
Yeah. Like you just dolphin dive right on his back, ride it like a horse, and then shimmy down to over like where his tail is, and then hang on to that while you lay into position.
Lay into position. Love it.
This would be
Hang on
great.
to his tail. I'm trying to figure it out because I don't know how graphic you guys get on your thing, but if you're hanging onto his tail, are we doing oral here? Because that's not what I had in mind.
That's
Wait.
what Seb had in mind.
Is he in
You haven't
full
heard
gallop while you sort of hug him and grab onto the tail?
I don't know where this is going, man. I'm at a loss for words right now.
All right.
Wow.
But
Way to
we
go,
can
Seb.
talk about your revenge-based vegetarianism too, because that's a weird one. Do you guys know about that one,
Oh, heck yeah.
Larry?
Yep.
I
'Cause,
can't believe you guys have seen my video. So yeah.
What do you mean you can't believe it? Like, come on. Seriously?
Like,
You're like
I put
Woody.
out a video every day, right?
We just randomly found you and said, hey, this guy looks cool. Let's just invite him online.
Yeah, so like I kind of told the whole story in the video, but for people in the stream who maybe haven't heard it or who listen to the podcast after the fact, here's the deal. So I work with a lot of guys from India, and I work in IT. And India has a large population of vegetarians. So we would go to lunch and we would talk about it. And for them, not only was it kind of a yucky issue, like the meat was just kind of disgusting in their minds, but it was also a moral issue that, look, you're sentient, you know what's going on, and you know that it causes a lot of pain and hurt for these animals when you eat them. And I didn't really have an answer for them. Like, it just, like, it kind of does, right? Like, animals don't like being eaten. That would be my assumption. So I thought it through, and it just became this revenge-based thing. Now I only eat animals that, given the opportunity, would eat me. And
but wait.
Yeah.
You give the example of a cow. Like you were saying the cow would totally eat you if it had the opportunity. And
No.
A cow wouldn't.
Cows
wait.
are on the protected list.
Yeah.
so you don't eat cows, right?
I don't.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
like
eat steak.
Cows are already, I don't. Cows are already bigger and stronger and faster than me. You look at a cow, you think they're slow, but go ahead and chase one. Like, give that a shot. I've done it. And yeah. So
Hold on. Why were you chasing the cow?
somebody,
Just-
All right, I'll tell that story in a moment here. It has nothing to do with the consensual conversation we had previously.
Sure, buddy. Sure.
But wait. So I gave an example of a goldfish, right? Goldfish don't eat people, but if goldfish were 250 feet long, they would swallow us up in the same way they swallow up all the other insects in the pond. You know, they wouldn't think twice of it. They wouldn't have any remorse. Therefore, it's okay to eat a goldfish. Chickens or any bird, every single bird I've ever met has been mean and nasty. And I give the example in the video of, you know, next time you see one of those beautiful swans at the park, go give it a hug, right? See how that works out for you.
Yep.
Yeah, they're mean and they're nasty animals. You know, stick your finger in the cage by the parrot and see how that goes. It's you're not gonna like it. So I eat birds. The protected list is actually pretty small. You know, most of the animals don't have like this conscience that prevents them from eating me. But I don't eat cows. I don't eat sheep.
What about beef?
No,
Yeah,
cows.
cow. Yeah.
what?
So,
Oh
Yeah,
my
so I
god! No, I was. Oh my god! All right.
Hey.
I meant to say like buffalo. Like
stay in school. That's all I'm saying.
I'm 26, but that's all right.
I guess he just considers polar bears beef and cows or poultry or whatever it is over in Canadian.
But hey, the cow thing, right? So I go off-roading sometimes. I have this like rock crawling buggy. And at this one place we stayed, you actually camp in this like cow pasture type thing. So we talked about cow tipping as an idea, and that's when. So when I go off-roading, it's a hobby that's popular with guys who I'll call really country, and they're all like, you know, well versed in the ways of the cow. And I'm like, let's go cow tipping, and they're like, no, that's not even a real thing. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not a real thing? How can this be? And it turns out cow tipping is just a trick that you play on city slickers.
Yep.
Like, yeah, you trade. Everyone loads up into the car, and you say you're going to go cow tipping, and then you get out of the car, and everyone but the idiot goes in the car, and they're left there with the cows alone. That is what cow tipping is. And I even went home and searched for cow tipping videos on YouTube. There are no cow tipping videos on YouTube. Like, that's possible, right? So yeah, cow tipping is not even a real thing. Anyway.
I love how you're shocked about that. That's hilarious.
So anyway,
Sorry, buddy.
You know, what they did do though is they offered me $100 if I could ride a cow. And I'm like, I'm on, right? Yeah, let's do this.
No
Yeah,
way.
forget
Yeah. So like I would. First of all, my first approach was just to sort of bum rush them like the opening kickoff at a football game, and that wasn't happening. Right, the cows saw me coming like a freaking ravaged moron and avoided me. Like I wasn't even getting close to them. So then I started being slick about it, right? I would walk with a purpose in a direction that wasn't straight toward the cow, but maybe just, you know, slightly offset, and then quickly dart over and like try to get the cow. And I couldn't even touch him. If you gave me $100 to touch a cow on the back, I wouldn't be able to earn that $100. They're faster than me and not as dumb as I had hoped.
Wow. That's craziness. So I guess we've talked about having sex with animals, whether or not it's good, vegetarianism. So I guess maybe we should talk about a little Black Ops and the new patch update. So I guess what are the thoughts from everyone? Liking this new second chance thing and the supposed nerfed 74U that I still get killed with quite often, or what?
No, I don't like it. I like the whole second chance thing. The whole idea of giving the guy who put him in second chance like the whole points. I know people were begging for this, but what it makes me do is it makes me like not want to kill the guy anymore. And like if the guy's got like second chance pro, I mean they're getting revived like day in day out. I don't know. It's just not my thing.
I love it. I'm on the other side of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there are. So it does two things for me. One, I put the guy in second chance, I get the kill. I'm so happy about it. I can pick him up at my leisure. I can throw a stun from a safe place and let him die that way. You know, whatever, right? It's so much better than me like unnecessarily taking risks. Maybe I beat the guy by one bullet, and now I'm near death trying to beat him, hoping that he has bad aim with his pistol. Yeah. That's a lousy situation. The other thing that's really cool about it is, let's say that you and I are shooting him together. Both of us, well, no, one of us is of the opinion that the other one stole the kill. Now the game kind of decides, like,
yeah,
like I remember I telling Onslaught, like, dude, you stole my kill. He's like, what? I'm the guy that put him there. because I thought I was the guy that put him there. And like we both genuinely believe we were right. Now the game makes a choice for us, and I think that's really cool too. There are so many. The whole stole my kill situation is over. It's gone.
That's why Seb doesn't like it anymore, because he can't steal everyone's fucking kills.
Oh, dude. You want to hear a perfect story about that? Here, I was playing. I think it was yesterday on Summit. I was in bottom comm, and Tino's gives me a call out. There are 3 guys in last stand bottom comm, and I respawn with my tac insert right beside it, and I hip fire and kill all 3, get 75 points. I got so pissed off. Like I was under the impression that I was gonna steal 3 kills, and I was laughing my ass off all the way to the bank. Nope, got 75 points, 3 assists. I was
No
down.
such
And
luck.
Tino's is like, yep, got 300 points. They're down. I was like, fuck you, T, seriously.
That's perfect, man. I'm glad to hear of your misfortune.
Yeah, me too.
Exactly.
Me too. It's funny. I had the reverse story happen to me. So I jumped into a game right after the patch, and then I went to go steal someone's kill, and I didn't, obviously, and I got the 25 points. And I'm like, I was so happy not to get a kill. Like, for the first time ever, I was like, oh my God, that means I just gave someone else a kill. This is fantastic. And I was like running around the map, so excited to put someone else into second chance. Like, I was like,
Well,
Wow, look at you and your altruistic. That's not right, altruistic
Verbal,
nature.
you should have focused on killing them, killing the other people. Maybe that's what happened wrong in that
one
firing
game,
range
one
game.
game with Woody and team, and I am screwed for life now. I can see this in like 6 months. Well, Verbal, at least it's better than that time you played with Woody. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh, that's my following
Oh
comments
my
every
gosh.
single video.
And so I'm a little nervous about the next engineering win. It comes out on Tuesday, and the guy played the opposite of Verbal. He completely ignored the objective, and he went like 80-2 or 87-2, something like that.
Ouch.
And I I can't tell you how harsh I was toward this guy. Like I think I end it with a speech. And it's like first of all, he goes like 87-2 and loses the game. He caps maybe 1 flag after it's too late.
What?
Ouch.
It's on jungle. Basically, what he did is he ran the selfish kill streaks, the high ones. He ran SR-71 and then the 2 chopper gunners on jungle. He made it to his 11 kill streak once, and that got him like 80 kills, between the 2 choppers because he didn't get shot down right away.
Wow.
And at the end of engineering win, I'm gonna get the speech wrong, but it goes something like this. I bet you finished that game and thought it went pretty well. I bet you finished that game with your 10, 15 to 1 KD ratio and thought that you did a pretty darn good job. Well, there's a word for people who don't try to win. That word is loser, and that's what you are. I hope to God that I get on the opposite team of you and get to ruin your KD and crush you time after time after time. That's
Wow.
that's and then by the whole but the guy was like, you don't know who he is. But just by looking at his play, he came off like a total douchebag. Like, he was like juking people. There was one guy where there's a situation where you headed at him and then you head to the side and he thinks you're going to come from the front. So he, like, instead of killing him because the guy was running away, he tries to knife him and eventually misses him and shoots him. And I ended my little commentary on that with "I wish you died," and then I was like, "Hey, this is kind of a theme, And then I was like, "Yeah, this play actually worked out fairly well for him, but I wish that it didn't. I wish that he died." There was one point he's running Second Chance Pro, and so his team's losing. And they only have 1 flag in domination. So what does he do? He goes up onto Pride Rock on jungle and starts going for kill streaks. And somebody shoots him and puts him in last stand. Well, his own teammate goes up there and starts shooting him and such. And I'm like, his name is like DSES17. Like, DSES17 thinks the same thing of you that I do. Get your ass on the flag and try to win. I'm glad that he shot you, and I'm glad that he didn't revive you. My only regret is that he didn't throw in a teabag.
No. But see, it's because you didn't get his whole class. He was playing the Slayer role, Woody.
Sure.
You have to. I hate guys who self-assign themselves the Slayer
yeah.
role and spend their time at the very edge of the map, not going for defends, but instead going for these unaware kills. And look, this idiot made it to his 11 once, got himself a big score, and thinks he's a stud. You are not a stud. You want to be a stud in my eyes? Do it while holding Bravo. Not all kills are created equal. If you're getting kills at the center of the map in the contentious area, then that's impressive to me. If you're staying at the edge of the maps in the safe area, catching them off guard, whatever, dude. It's hardly even helpful. There's no respawn delay in this game. Push them back to the to their own spawn. It was frustrating. He was everything that I hate in a player.
Okay,
Yep.
so to change topics, but also sort of keep something going in the same thread here, there are people like that out in real life. There are people that will like literally go out in combat situations and take on like 40 guys. And it actually happened this week. And Tino's, our fourth silent FNG, found this story about a lone Nepali soldier who literally defended a rape victim against 40 men, which I think my transition
I saw that. It was on a train, right?
Yep.
With a knife.
I know. I cut him some slack. He didn't capture any flags.
Did you see his face? He looks beat up bad. Oh, no,
Yeah.
wait, he doesn't, does he?
Yeah,
No,
well,
that's paint on his face, because that's the way they... I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's their like whatever war paint or something. Woody, the link's in the chat there for you, and I think Tino's is putting it into the live stream. But if you guys aren't on the live stream or just listening to it afterwards, just do a Google search for "lone Nepali soldier defends potential rape victim against 40 men." That's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a website called Badass of the Week that tells a story filled with hyperbole of the same guy. And it's really good. They're like, at this point he got angry and whipped out his like kuraki or whatever that crazy weapon is called, and started doing this or that, and it was funny.
That is one badass knife, by the way. That is a pretty cool knife.
That's only use me blade like right there. That's fucking that's like a 40 kill streak knife only. I mean that he.
For people who haven't heard the story at all, this is it in a nutshell. This guy had just left the military. He was some kind of what country was he from? Was it Indonesia?
Nepal.
And he was some sort of special forces, like not a run-of-the-mill soldier. He's headed home on a train, and it turns out the train is filled with bad guys. And then they stop the train, and more bad guys pour on. So now there's 40 in total. And they start stealing everybody's wallets and stuff. And Captain Badass here is like, whatever, steal wallets, we'll let it go. Well, then the bad guys decide that stealing wallets isn't enough, that they're going to rape this girl. And that's when bad guys realize that taking his wallet wasn't enough. They should have taken his, help me with this weapon, Kirky or something?
Yeah, I can't.
Kirky.
I'm going to try that.
Kukri, maybe? Something like that.
Yeah, something like
so,
that.
A kukri, I'm looking at a picture of it. It's a little bit like a machete with a curve. And he takes this kukri and just like slices and dices everyone on the train and saves the girl.
Yeah,
But he's not quite finished yet, right? Captain Badass is still pissed off. So then he starts wandering around the rest of the train looking for more bad guys. And he finds them. And all
That's what
together,
heroes do.
yeah, so I think he left like 6 dead and 12 more wounded, and then a bunch of bad guys, because there were 40 apparently in total, just ran off. You can do the math. 22 left, who just said, 22 and 1, I don't like my odds, I'm out of here. And and then of course the girl was saved, and they offered, so he actually got some money out of it. He got some sort of bonus from the army. It turned out there was a bounty on the heads of a lot of these people, and he collected all the bounty. And then the rape victim was going to give him $6,500, which I assume is a good deal in Nepal. And he didn't accept it. Instead, he had this quote, and I'm hoping it's in the article.
The one that we linked, he says, she was, they ripped her clothes off, and then she was like, "You're a soldier, save a sister," and he's like, "Well, I just thought of her like what she was my sister and defended her from getting raped." And he was just like so blunt.
There's another quote in the article that I read, and it was something close to, when I was in the military, killing people was my job, and but when I saw her, killing people was my duty as a human, or something close to that. And it was
shit.
Yeah, and he didn't take her. They offered him $6,500 like as a thank you, and he declined it, and he was fine.
Then
Wait.
he said, "Fuck Chuck Norris, I am the man."
So then the military brought him back on active duty for just 1 day so that they could award him like 3 medals of honor of some sort. And then he retired.
That's pretty cool.
It says right here that there were 40 men with knives, swords, and guns. Like how does this guy matrix through like the train and just dodge bullets and knife everybody to death? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, like, is this guy some kind of like fucking?
Well,
I don't know.
Dude, they probably if they have a lot of guns, I mean, they're not just going to blatantly start mowing people down or shooting the people that they've been robbing trains with. So they're hesitant on the trigger. And the guys with knives and swords are probably trying to do something, but this guy's fucking a beast, and it didn't phase him.
I can see the YouTube, the title for the commentary already. 1 versus 40, knife only, clutch on derail. I only use my kukri.
On derail, that's perfect. I know that in the beginning, at the beginning when they first had the girl, he grabbed someone as a human shield. And he grabbed one guy with a human shield, killed 2 or 3 more with his free hand, and then killed his human shield. And then he headed off to the other passenger cars. Yeah, the guy.
Fucking crazy.
Guys, yeah, it was
So wait,
amazing.
Woody, I got to ask you a question. You use Reddit a lot, right? You're a Redditor.
I am. Yeah,
Did you happen to see this particular article on Reddit this morning?
I saw it on Reddit a few days ago.
Okay, we were wondering because we were like all impressed that we were like had our homework done, ready to ask you good questions, and here we come up with an article and you know more about it than we do. I was like, wait, what? That was pretty impressive. So, guys, is it ready for One Up Me time yet?
Yep.
Oh man, I'm gonna get crushed. I used all my stories. This is like my 50th podcast. I'm dry. People are like, do another cool story, bro, every week. How often do you think people beg me to piss on them in a fishing boat? Like this only happens once in a lifetime. I can't come up with a new one on a weekly basis. But all right, bring it. Let's see what we can do.
Okay, so you don't have to tell a One Up Me story if you don't want to, and we never force our guests to. If you want to, we are absolutely, of course, you're welcome to. But we can judge it in a few ways, and either you can judge if you don't tell a story, or I think TryHard's not going to tell a story, so he can happily judge if you don't want to tell one. It's totally up to you.
We'll play it by ear.
Okay, Larry, you or me going first?
You go first this week, buddy.
Awesome, great. Put on the spot. So I used to work at a restaurant, and it was part of a work placement. It was actually a huge hotel, and the very end of my 6 or 8 months there, I worked in this restaurant, and this restaurant was a full-on catering restaurant for an entire hotel, like a food and beverage department where weddings would happen. We had a couple of different restaurants on top of any food in the lobby areas and any room service and shit. So part of my duties was I don't know, cooking the just cold stuff, and sometimes it was cold meats and sandwiches and stuff. Sometimes it was desserts. I did the back, as in sort of the washing up area, and cleaning out the deep fat fryers, and they would have these huge buckets that you would put fat and just disgustingness that would come in afterwards, when you would clean up your trays from the restaurant, and you got to separate out your trash because you got to recycle and the shit like this. I'd worked on the pass, which is where people would deliver food. I basically worked everywhere, and as I left this job, there's kind of a back area where all the chefs could get together and have a smoke and just maybe have a beer after the end of a shift. And it came to my very last shift, and you walk outside. It was down one level and kind of turn around a corner, and I see everyone out there, and I'm walking out this one long narrow door. And as I get out there, this bucket of filthy, disgusting, smelling horribleness that is completely red dye lands on my head and all over my shoulders and stuff. And basically, they had this bucket of, like, it would come with oil for deep fat fryers and stuff, and then we would keep them for all the slop and all the stuff. And they had basically just kept one over for me and put anything in it for like 4 weeks, and I mean rotting fish heads and disgusting pieces of meat and anything, and then stirred it all up and then dumped the sucker on top of my head as a sort of hey, we've enjoyed working with you, take it easy back at school. So I'm standing there. Pretty much. I'm standing there, and I remember specifically like a fish head on my left shoulder, and it's like glooping off my head.
Oh, God.
It stinks to high heaven. I mean, like, imagine like rotting disgustingness for 4 weeks. And I'm standing, it probably lasted like maybe 6 seconds, and I'm standing there, and it is vile and disgusting. And someone throws a bucket of cold water at me, and it just hits me, and it's freezing cold November in England. Like, I'm freezing cold. Someone else takes a hose and starts hosing me down, and it's like, it's going in my eyes, it's in my mouth, it's everywhere. And everyone around is like laughing and joking and throwing things at me. They hit me with another bucket of warm water to try and warm me up a bit. Now I'm freezing cold, I'm covered in water, and they have that, what do you call that? Like a big trash can, but like industrial size. You can fit you could fit 10 people if you really wanted to. So they open the sucker up, they put me in it, and then they shove me down. The restaurant was on a hill, like a slanted hill, and I fell all the way down, and I'm like rushing down, and they're rushing with me, and then I get down to the end, and I spill out, and I'm just covered in old alcohol and just grossness from this thing, and this was their way of saying, hey, we enjoyed working with you, and and come back soon type thing. I walk back up to my car, and my car is wrapped in cling film, and underneath the cling film is spray, not foam, but what do you call it? I can't think of the word. What you put on ice cream.
Whipped cream?
Whipped cream, thank you. Covered in the car, and whipped cream that's been left out in the sun for like 3 or 4 hours, even in the cold at the end of winter, is just disgusting. Like it gets all greasy and nasty, and it won't come off. It'll start eating into the paint of your car. It was just horrible and disgusting. I finally cleaned off the whole car, and I'm going nuts, just like trying to clean this stuff off. A friend of mine has brought like a spare pair of clothes, so I go in and clean up in one of the spare bathrooms, and I come out, and I stunk like fish for like, I swear to God, like 3 days. I come back out to my car, the whole thing's over, and everyone's like, hey, we only do that to people we like, and it was good to see you, and thanks for working with us, we really love you, and come back soon, and come back in your time off and stuff. And like the last, like, I don't know, we call it the dot over the I in Swedish, like that, just the, the cherry on the very top of the ice cream. As I went to go get in my car, they had also put that shaving cream underneath the door handle. So I went to go put the door handle in. I'm like, after like an hour and a half of trying to clean myself up of all this bullshit I had just been through, and I'm standing there with fucking shaving cream all over my hands, and it's under every single imaginable place in the car and everywhere else. And that was my goodbye from, that was one of my goodbyes from a work placement, which was, it was fun. It was kind of crazy though.
Nice, but gross.
Yes.
So I guess it's my turn to step up to the plate here, huh?
Go for it.
All right, let's see if I can keep it under 27 minutes. Verbal.
Is it going to be work related?
I can do one work related. It doesn't matter. I've got.
I thought that's how One Up worked, right? You stick
Nah.
no.
It can just be about anything.
Yeah, we just try to one up each other's stories, and all verbal stories basically suck. So
Asshole.
I just thought of a story, so I'll be telling one too. But mine's about sex, so I'll probably win.
Oh, damn it.
Dude, you know what? Let me go. Mine's about sex at work.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
shit.
Do you want to go last, or do you want to go now?
I'll go now, right? So, I guess so. Verbal did a work one. I'm like, all right, work story, whatever. What are you gonna do? So, you guys may have heard, if you follow my stuff at all, I used to be a lifeguard on the beach. And
really?
That's true. Onslaught rips me every time I mention this. So, so anyway, it's at a time in my life when I'm kind of coming to the grips with the fact that I'm not going to be an Olympic swimmer, that I'm not going to be a professional athlete, that like I'm just a normal person. And I'm a lifeguard on the beach, and things are going pretty good, right? My beach was kind of cool in that next to our beach was an unprotected beach, which meant that surfers could go there. Whereas, in my beach itself, you could only swim. And because the waves were big this day, there was like a hurricane out to sea. They wanted me to sort of hang out in the surfing area and watch them, make sure they're okay. So I literally spent about 2/3 of my day out there surfing with the crowd, and I'm getting paid for this. Then at the end of the day, like the last hour of your shift, you kind of get to do what you want with it. And my wife came by, girlfriend at the time, to bring me food. At the back of the beach is a hotel, the Portical. And every beach had every beach had like a store or something that used to give them discounts on stuff and let them use the bathroom and stuff like that. Well, ours was the Portical Hotel. And our bathroom wasn't just a regular bathroom. It was like pimp, and it had a sauna. And I took my girlfriend into this sauna, and we did it. So, to wrap up this day, I go from this point where I'm like, kind of recognizing that I'm not a rock star, I'm not a pro athlete, I'm whatever, to a guy who just got paid to go surfing all day and have sex, which makes me both a pro athlete and a porn star on the same day for the win.
Wow.
Oh, great.
My story loses yet again. God damn it.
No, wait. This isn't over yet. We still got Larry and I to go.
Yeah, but clearly I'm not winning, let's be honest.
No, but you never win. See, that's the whole thing of this whole... It's just that you don't win. Like you know how everybody has their own cliché, like their own niche? That's yours. You just don't win.
5 and 23, I don't win, life is good.
25, God.
25, dude. You keep boosting your KD.
I love it.
Oh, I don't know how he takes it, but all right. You want to go, Larry, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go, man.
All
right, so you guys may or may not know that I like to partake in my adult beverages, and this has been this way since I was a 18. So this story, it's kind of like two stories in one, but I've got to kind of explain the first one to get to the second one. So we had this buddy that we'll call him Brian in high school, and he would be that guy that would just drink wicked early, get wicked shit-faced, and just kind of pass out or be, blackout drunk by like 9 o'clock at night, and we'd all just make him do dumb shit and wake up in the morning and be like, what happened? Well, I actually do regret doing this to him, but this was one of those nights, and it was about 10 o'clock at night. We'd been drinking for a while, and he was absolutely wasted out of his mind, like cross-eyed type drunk. And he went to go like take a piss, and we took a bottle of Mike's Hard Lemonade and dumped it out 3/4 and then filled it with Everclear. And then told him, when he came back, we're like, dude, you can't drink that in 60 seconds just to get him to pound it. Well, of course, he drinks it well within the 60-second mark, but was instantly like he was alcohol poisoning. So he was like puking up. There's a little bit of blood in his puke. We took care of him. Actually didn't take him to the hospital because we were all underage, none of us had a license, and we were all drunk. But he lived to see another day. So another party a couple months later at my mom's house. And my mom was always really cool with, underage drinking. And not like she was cool with it, but she knew we were going to do it. And her preference was to do it at her house where she knew we weren't going to be out driving around. She'd take people's keys and kind of do all that stuff, and she'd be there to kind of, I guess, watch over or monitor the retardedness that we do. And the one thing my mom wasn't cool with was me and my girlfriend, which is now my wife, having sex. She wasn't cool with that. So, which is kind of weird, but that's the deal with. So me and my girlfriend were, having sexual relations at that time, but I didn't want to just like toss, used wrappers in the trash. So, the Arizona iced tea, the old Arizona iced tea glass bottles.
Oh yeah.
I'd drop them in there. So I'd have like this one disgusting Arizona iced tea bottle that I'd kind of drop them in. And the same buddy, Brian, comes over for a party, and yeah, I'm an asshole, but he gets wicked drunk, and he's like, dude, you got anything to drink? And I didn't want him going upstairs because my mom would be pissed at seeing absolutely how drunk this guy was. So I was like, yeah, dude, there's some iced tea over there, and just sat back and watched him take a swig and say, this is not iced tea, and then run outside and puke. And that's my story. Gross. And I'm sticking to it.
All right. I think I got a legitimate shot at winning this, but I'm going to premise the story by saying that this is very graphic, and it's sexually graphic. So if there's anybody in the stream or listening to the podcast right now who may be under the age of 18, you may want to pretend that you're not listening.
This isn't going to happen in a hockey locker room, is it?
No.
Okay.
Probably.
No, but okay. So here it goes. Me and my good buddy, we hang around all the time. And we knew this guy who is, not from like a good family. He's probably one of those, like, he's a drug dealer, and so this guy is all with, he's on, like, he does everything bad. Okay, that's just the guy he is. So we go over to his place to party or whatnot. We're just 4 guys, right? It's me, my buddy, and
this sex story.
Yes, me.
Okay.
Oh my God, shut up! But this is me, my buddy, the drug dealer, and one of his friends or whatever. And we're just sitting there, I used to smoke back then, so we were like smoking and whatnot. And he's telling me, you want to bring over some prostitutes? And I'm like, okay. At this time, I am single, and everybody else is here, so whatever. Just moving on. He calls up, like, he has like the fucking hose on speed dial, and he calls him, and like this, like, he knows the guy who's answering the phone clearly. He's like, hey Rick, can you get me some 3 sluts? And because I never ordered one because I'm a nice guy, and he's like, yeah, can you bring one Canadian girl, 1 English girl, and 1 Chinese girl, because that was like one of my guys' fantasy. Like, he wanted to do a Chinese girl. So
wait, just to be clear, he wanted a Canadian girl?
Yeah, because Canadian girls are typically,
yeah.
I don't understand that one. Why?
Is she missing teeth from the hockey?
Oh my, no, she's...
No, Woody, I know what it is. She knows how to use the ice. She knows how to use the ice.
Okay, please carry on.
Oh my! No, she is. She was blonde and gorgeous. But okay. So the way prostitutes work, like not prostitute, but like call girls. The way it works is you call them over, and a driver drives them over. And so the three girls get out. They knock at your door, and they come over, and you get to choose if they fit your standards. So you're allowed to say no. So this is the way it works. The three girls go in, we shake hands, we're like, hey, what's up? And after like 5 minutes of conversation, like the car is still outside, one of the girls asks, she's like, hey, so can we stay? So all the guys, we kind of go back into this far corner of the room and huddle up, and we're just, okay, do we want this chick? Yes. And my buddy who was fantasizing about this Asian chick, he's like, I don't want her, she is ugly, and she was butt ugly, to be honest. So this other guy, so we just basically send the Asian girl away, and we're stuck with two girls, and I decide to just watch a movie on the sofa with my buddy, just doing nothing. And the drug, no, I swear to God, I was the only person who got nothing that night. But
you sat in the corner of the room watching, didn't you, sicko?
No, because
one-handed like T-Mart.
The drug.
When they caught you, did they have to finish you?
No, but wait, like this goes on for like 2 hours because this, like, my drug dealer goes into this one room and screws this chick for, I swear to God, he'll screw her for 15 minutes, come back out, have a smoke, and then go back in when he's recharged. And my buddy's he's downstairs, he's doing the exact same thing, right? And after like an hour and a half, like, the girl's like, okay, well, we should probably get going now. So they call their driver, whoever he is. But my drug dealer, he has a stand of watches because apparently he like sells like, I don't know, watches that like he stole. But he has like a display case of watches there, like you find at like a jewelry store. So this whore, she's like looking over at these watches. She's like, oh, I want to watch, and like these watches were worth like $200 or something. And he's like, sure, you'll get a watch. But my buddy has to finger you here. And,
What?
No, I swear to God, she says, okay, she drops her pants and grabs a watch. And my buddy proceeds to kneel down and like literally rape her with his hands in front of us right there while she was unboxing the watch and like showing up on, like, she had it up on her wrist. She was looking at it in the light. She's like, oh, this one's nice. While my buddy is like, okay, and he's serious, like, he's having fun with this. Like he's inserting as many, or like, okay, he is going to town, and like all she does is flinch when she's like, wait, and she's totally fine with it.
Oh my God.
And this proceeded to go on for like 30 seconds. She looks at her watch and she's like, yep, 30 seconds is up, gotta go. Pulls her pants up and just walks out. And that was the last time I saw her.
That is epic. That's impressive.
Yep. To this day, we still talk about that one time.
So, Woody, one of the things we try not to do on FNG is kind of the rule you put down on PK and don't interact too much with the stream. But considering all four of us told a story, we're going to let Tino's let us know in the live stream who won the story. And my vote is definitely TryHard. Like, that was pretty impressive. And none of this, no voting for Woody just because he's Woody.
That's not working, dude. They're all
well, by
God
popular,
damn you!
by popular vote, Woody wins, unfortunately.
I'm getting a few votes, but fucking okay. We got one verbal. Where is it? Wait.
What is wrong with that person? Pay attention.
Wait, it's Reptar. Good for you, buddy. Go for the underdog.
Screw you,
Matrix
TryHard.
voted for verbal.
Now
We
we're
got a couple
talking.
verbals in there.
Woohoo!
Oh, see, I'm getting a bunch of tryhards now. This is nice.
I don't know. My vote is definitely TryHard. That was fucking epic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that
I still
made me
think
laugh out loud.
I don't know. Let's just call it a tie, just for fun.
Just to be nice to our
I'll call it a tie between myself, Woody, and Larry, and Verbal loses. I'll be fine with that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
All right.
All right. So I think we're getting close to being done, but we usually like to kind of tease people with who we're going to have on next. So I think you guys may know him. Woody, I'm pretty sure you know of this guy. Xbox Ahoy.
Yes.
Yeah, we're having he'll be our guy next week. So if you guys are looking to join the live stream next week, we're going to do it on Saturday because we know that A, you guys want to watch the Super Bowl, B, we want to watch the Super Bowl, and C, Xbox Ahoy lives in England, so we're going to have to stream it a little bit earlier. So it'll be on Saturday night around 7, maybe 8 o'clock on EST. So if you want to come join the live stream, come check us out, and we're gonna have Xbox Ahoy on the channel, which should be pretty fun.
Yeah. What do you know who you guys are going to have on PKA next week or Thursday?
Not yet.
Not
Actually,
yet? Okay.
yeah, there's some. You know who I'm trying to land?
I
Joe
know who you're
Lozon,
trying to.
the UFC fighter.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Nice.
he actually subs to me, and like we
Wow.
got chatting with each other back and forth on Reddit, and like he actually follows me on Twitter as well. So like, and then of course he's freaking Joe Lozon.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, he was on the Ultimate Fighter. He's one of the toughest people on the planet, and
yeah.
pretty.
Oh,
neat.
GSP, come on, get on my level. He's from Quebec.
You guys got one. You know what? GSP.
Yeah,
How do you throw a stone
yeah.
at GSP? You'd break the stone. That guy is. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with him. He is great
Yep.
as a fighter, and he seems to be great as a guy. Not that I know him, but he's never given anyone a reason to dislike him.
He
the
can't
man.
be from Canada.
Yep.
Yes.
Dude, he's from like 30 miles from here, from where I live.
He can't be. He sounds so cool.
Yeah, he's right,
This is great.
and I bet he sucks at hockey.
Larry, keep it up. This guy's gonna find you.
He won't be able to in a little while. That's for sure.
But yeah, man, if we could get Joe Lozon to stop by even for like a 15-minute call or something, I think that'd be a pretty big win.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That's who we're going for.
Wow, man, that would be very cool. All right, well, Woody, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on, big man. We really appreciate you hanging out and talking sex with animals with us.
My pleasure. Anytime you have sex with animal questions, you bring them to me.
We'll have to do that. Whoever our next few guests are, we'll have to make sure we have a sex with animals guest and then call you randomly in the middle of the podcast just to get your opinion on sex with animals. 'Cause apparently, you are the
Just ring me up. Hey, we've got a question here about horses.
the authority. So seriously, are zebras okay? Horses? Does that hurt?
We got this one question about rabbits. What do you?
All right, guys. Well, that's been FNG episode 13 with none other than Woody's Gamertag. We appreciate it, kind sir, and we will catch you, like Mike says, we'll catch you online.
Later.
Later, guys.
See you.